Alright guys, welcome to the last little bit of today's stream. We're gonna finish off Heaven's Ward now. Let's talk to Ida. Fly free, my pretty. So, we have to wake up Omega up, right? When do we start? Ida, are you sure that's... I'm sure, yes. I won't lie and say I'm completely fine, but I'll feel a lot better if I'm doing something useful. Very well. I will remain here and continue coordinating our efforts with the Alliance. Alphino, mayhap you could return to Gridania and assist Ishtola and Kryl? A fine suggestion. The rest of us will form the Cardinal Expedition Party. Nero and I will focus on rousing Omega, while Nero, Ida, and our Doman friends will take care of security. The fuck, Gosetsu? The Excelsior is by the lake just outside town. We'll leave as soon as everyone is ready. Jeremy, would you date Gosetsu? Actually, hang on. You gonna say probably not? I mean, look at him. He is clearly a very energetic man. Okay. I thought maybe he might side sells and dies. Look at that. Look at that crystal tower. Gorgeous. Okay, guys, we got a battle mission here, a solo scenario. We haven't far to go. With any luck, we'll be in Cardinal before Gosetsu graces the deck with his dinner. Once there, however, we had best be on our guard. Given that Aline Wayo was still active when Omega was discovered, we can be sure that the Empire has long been aware of its existence. And if Nero deemed it the obvious solution to the threat posed by this new Primal, it's not impossible that Garlemald might do the same. Have your weapons ready and your wits about you. Something tells me we're flying into a fight. Oh, alright, sorry about that.
Now, where was that? Ah! I've enabled the teleporter. One brief jump and we shall arrive in Omega's control room.
How convenient. You've been here before.
Of course. It was no easy task threading a path through all the skirmishes. But how could I ignore the existence of such a fascinating toy? You may trust that my preliminary examination was suitably thorough.
Trust? Aye. I trust your appetite for technology.
I chased down a suspect airship, and who should I find but the traitor, Sid Garland. Searching for something, engineer? Something big? It's close, isn't it? It's like all my name days have come at once.
Of all the scouts the Empire could have sent. Take care of that brute, will you?
God damn it. Can't let Nero tinker around in there by himself. I'm sorry to leave you to it, but I dare say you'll manage without me. This clod has no idea who he's dealing with.
I am Gosetsu, Samurai of Doma. You will rue your choice of opponent this day.
Look at this fuck is using both Nero's weapon from Praetorium, but also Ritatu and Salsarvina's shield. I'll stop these worms in the ducks myself. This is my fight. Stay out of it, understand?
Leave this to me.
Look upon a samurai of Doma.
It's all over now.
I may have been such an enemy. They should be stained of blood by now. What are you fools gawping at? Your captain's in danger. Get in here.
No holding back.
I love how he very quickly realized, oh shit, I'm in trouble.
No retreat. No surrender.
Tis my right to strike.
Surrender? We have you outnumbered. Wouldn't be the first time. Are you still playing with the soldiers? Oh, I suppose I can lend you one of my toys, but only if you promise to give it back. Behold, the Red Baron! Now, end this nonsense. Miro's smile. What the? No one told me they'd have matchstick armor. Forward for the Empire! The honorless Curve thinks to abandon his men? I shall see that he shares their fate. Pray, attend to the rest of his minions. That's right, we get to ride around in some Magitech armor. And the Red Baron.
No holding back. An opening.
Look upon
Oh,
a
it's really
samurai
fun
of
just
Doma.
going around and fucking these guys off some Magitech armor.
You watching, Pavanimo?
Get wrecked, dude.
Leave this to me.
Jeremy with the book is pretty threatening, dude.
With soul and steel.
Oh, damn.
It's all over now.
They showed up and immediately died.
No retreat. No surrender.
Tis my right to strike.
This one'll sting. Your defense is lacking.
I have you!
Hey, you can't just run off! The starting a battle is punishable by death! I already need to stand your ground! Come back here now! Please? Ugh, damn it all for the 7th hell! I'll kill you bastards, it's the last thing I do! Alright.
No pain.
Look upon us, samurai of Doma!
You watching, Cavallero?
I'm missing that. So the fire wasn't a big enough threat to worry about not standing in for the most part.
With soul and steel!
You haven't seen the last of me! Mark my words, it is you who rules this day! Well, he fucked off awful quick.
Temporal stasis disengaged. All systems operational. Garland?
All clear on this side. It's waking up.
Remarkable. Omega sensors immediately detected the presence of the cocoon, even at this distance. They must have been set to scan for sources of energy exceeding certain magnitudes.
I still don't see any means to control the machine directly. It seems to have been designed to act wholly autonomously. Once we release Omega, we can be fairly certain it will attempt to capture the Primal at Belsar's wall. Assuming its mission is successful, our only option at that point will be to re-engage its stasis system and put it back to sleep.
And should the machine happen to misbehave, we'll simply initiate an emergency shutdown. I confess we don't yet have a complete grasp of its capabilities, but I'm certain the details will not elude us for long.
Well, I understood less than half of that. So, my question to you is, are we doing the right thing?
Well, what do you think? Is there any other way? Let's ask Ida what she thinks.
What do I think? All right. Step aside, Sid. Is this the thing I need to press?
Yes, that's the one.
You gave too much for us to waste this chance, Papalimo. So this is for you. And me.
Yes! Fly free, my pretty! Show us what you can do. The launch sequence has begun. Omega is loose. Omega has stopped transmitting. But that shouldn't be. I didn't engage the stasis system.
And what does this signify? I have little understanding of these contrivances.
The launch went exactly to plan, but all signals emanating from Omega have ceased. This may indicate any number of things, but we will need to join the Scions out in the field if we are to ascertain which one.
Right. I've ordered a malfunctioning beast to go to sleep. That should prevent any unfortunate mishaps. I suggest we make our way back to Gridania.
Omega destroyed the cocoon. Papalimo's spell is fading. It was bound to his ether, you see. And if the connection is broken...
Alright. So a bit of a Final Fantasy history lesson for you guys. Omega, the creature, the bug, mechanical bug we just saw, was first introduced in Final Fantasy V. He was also introduced as a super boss alongside another boss, Shinryu. The dragon we just saw was Shinryu. And ever since then, in the lore, those two have been at odds fighting each other. This was the first time we actually got to see them fight each other. Not sure why we lost contact with Omega, but I mean to find out. Let's be on our way. And that was a very cool way to send off Heaven's Ward, I think. One moment, everything was functioning perfectly, and the next it wasn't. It makes no sense. We need to see what happened for ourselves, and soon. The Far Edge of Fate. This is the last quest of Heaven's Ward. Words can ill express how glad I am to see you all unharmed. When Omega came hurtling towards the cocoon, everything dissolved into chaos. I have to see it. I have to see it with my own eyes. Wait, we must first... Hildesitsu is expecting us. Worry not, Elfino. Kosetsu and I will watch over her. You may safely attend your meeting. My thanks, Yugiri. The council reconvened a short while ago. Let us make haste for the Lotus Stand. All there are eager to hear your testimony. Bulb onions make you very sick? Assassin's an entire red onion daily? Man, I could not do that. At least not like eating it raw. I could cook it and eat it that way, probably. Maybe not a whole thing. Alright, let's go to the Conjurer's Guild and see the closing out of Heaven's Ward, guys. It was a long time coming, but we made it. Like an apple. I think it's one of the few times they let me actually walk around in the Lotus Stand. It's actually kind of rude. My friends, full eagerly we have awaited your return. You indeed could have discharged the duty entrusted to you, and most humbly do we thank you for seeing it done. You were too kind, Elder Seedsir. As I recall, we as good as demanded the right to try. But tell me, how did the battle unfold? We succeeded in waking Omega Eye, but we lost contact with the weapon shortly after it launched. From our position in the control room, we were blind to all that followed. What words could do justice to such a scene? None of my choosing, that much is certain, but I can give you the facts. The cocoon hatched even as Omega arrived, and from its midst rose a great dragon. The pair duly set about each other in the skies over Garabania. The primal might defied belief. It seemed the very heavens would be rent asunder by the force of its blows, and it wielded such magic as I have never seen, and hope never to see again. The battle raged on with no end in sight until both combatants were engulfed in a blinding flash of light. When the radiance faded, I saw the pair fall motionless from the sky, coming to rest somewhere on Alamegan soil. I will not speak for the rest, but to my eye, it seemed that each had landed a fatal blow upon each other. While most among us could think only of Bahamut when looking upon the Primal's new form, the Domans were heard whispering the name Shinryu. It would appear that the being resembles a creature of far eastern legend, and we have found it convenient to refer to it as such. This Shinryu's fate, and indeed that of Omega, is yet unknown. We have, alas, no eyes on the Garabanian side of the border. Aye, which is why we have sent our main force under the command of Marshal Tarapin to capture the wall. With the Imperials in disarray, we have the perfect opportunity to secure Gardania's border and assess the aftermath of the impact. I myself will join the Marshal when his men in the council is adjourned. Well, that explains a few things. I'll wager that flash of light coincided with our loss of contact. Lest you wonder, we quickly re-engaged Omega stasis systems, so even if it has fallen into the Empire's lap, it will still be of no use to them, save perhaps as a statue. Correct. Without me to guide their efforts, it would take them decades to decipher Omega's core functions, if they managed it at all. Such reassurances do much to calm our fears, yet the relic's fate is but one of several concerns. Indeed, I humbly submit the time has come for us to make contact with the resistant representative in Garabania. Though Ilberd has forced our hand, it would seem only logical to seek an alliance, given the inevitability of the Imperial retaliation, and by working in concert, it is not impossible that Alamigo might finally be wrested from Garlemon's grasp. Alright, Alphino. You must be exhausted. I would ordinarily suggest that we retire directly to the Rising Stones, but I wonder if we might first make a small detour. Ishtul and the others have gathered at Amaris' spire, and I imagine that you too would be interested to see what has become of the wall now that the cocoon is gone. It is decided then. Lead on. There's a whole subreddit dedicated to people who hate onions. I'm not surprised about that. And your wife used to think she hated onions, but she found out she doesn't like raw onions. She's a big fan of caramelized ones. Especially, see, I don't dislike onions. I really like onions. Raw or otherwise. I just couldn't eat a bulb raw. That just seems like it would be entirely unpleasant. But I can eat raw onions on, like, my hamburger, or... I don't like them in subs, though. I prefer them as, not in subs. So I do like green onions. But yeah, I like onions. Caramelized onions are probably my favorite, though, so I'm with her on that.
My friends, I cannot well express how glad I am to see you both unharmed. They say that Omega's clash with the Primal shook the very firmament.
You need not have worried. The battle took place far above the ground. We were able to observe in relative safety, though I'm given to understand that there were casualties on the far side of the wall.
It was like watching a nightmare unfold before our very eyes. Ilberd's Primal manifested in the form of a colossal dragon, a being of pure violence. It burst forth from the cocoon with such terrible force.
That such a horror should spring from the eyes of Nidhogg comes as no surprise. Nor do I wonder at its form. Ilberd all but announced it in the moments prior to his death. Plainly, it was his dying wish to visit a second calamity upon the Empire.
and I am quite certain the abomination would have obliged had it not found itself outmatched by a mega. Gods! I am no stranger to the works of Alag, but even I was unprepared for the machine's furiosity. It beggared belief.
And how fares poor Ida in the midst of all this? Have you spoken with her?
She is up on the platform, lost in thought. We deemed it best not to disturb her, but mayhaps she would welcome some company after all. Shall we?
The light's gone. It was all we had left of him.
Ida.
I don't blame anyone. I knew what was going to happen. I knew the spell Papalimo meant to cast would drain away his life force. I knew that it would only buy us a little time.
Ida, there is no need to explain.
But there is. I can't hide in Papalimo's little shadow anymore, and I shouldn't hide behind my sister's mask. 20 years ago, on the day the Empire marched into Alamigo, I was still just a child, not even 5 summers old. My father had been one of the leaders of the revolution. He had fought to overthrow the Mad King, Theodoric. And my sister had fought alongside him. But she was strong and kind, and always knew what to do. But when the Garleans came, everything changed. My father went to war against them too, and I never saw him again. After that, I remember a lot of running. My sister dragged me for malms and malms until we came to the city of Charlian. That was where she met Master Louis Soir. He introduced her to the Circle of Knowing, and she eventually became an Archon.
She was your inspiration. Is that not why you took up her mask and her name? Or did you simply mean to continue what she had started?
You've known all along, haven't you? That I wasn't Ida.
Of course. We all recognized you at once. 'Twas Papalimo who persuaded us to maintain the charade.
It was silly to think I could fool you. I knew that even then, but I sort of decided not to know. Ida died 6 years ago, on a mission to smuggle refugees out of Alamigo. They say she was overwhelmed by Imperial soldiers when she stayed behind to save a little girl. She was so strong. There must have been a lot of them.
You bitch, why do you never tell me?
I'm sorry for lying to you. My real name is Lise. When Papalimo brought me Ida's mask, it was meant as a keepsake, but I decided I wanted to be his new partner, to keep alive all the good that she had done. I didn't want to become Ida, exactly. At the time, though, I still didn't know who I was myself. and it almost seemed easier to play the role. Papalimo agreed to help, of course, but it was never what he wanted for me. He wanted me to walk my own path, and those were his final words to me. The Archon's mark he gave me is faded, and my last excuse along with it. So this is it. Whatever I choose to do from now on, I do as Lys. And I choose to continue my family's fight. I want Ala Mhigo to be the country that Ida and my father always wanted it to be.
War is upon us once more.
Do you regret standing against the Empire? Would you have chosen a different road, knowing what you know now?
To claim that I never doubted the decision would be a lie. But I made my choice, and I have defended it with blade in hand ever since.
The battle continues, and our steel is needed. Come, Shadow Walker, we leave for the east, for Doma.
It was brave of Lys to remove her mask. Though she'd scarce begun to come to terms with Papalimo's loss, that one act made plain her determination to move forward. And should she ever falter, we shall be there to support her on this road she has resolved to walk. Let us return to the Rising Stones. We have quite a story to tell to Taru and my sister. Alright, as much as I would love to give this another listen through of Dragon Song, it's a beautiful song. Can't do that right now. Alright, hey there, Alistair. What's going on? He may have mentioned, but Alphinaud has surprised me of all that came to pass in Gridania. Your only task now is to rest. This is the calm before the storm. Lys has chosen her path, and as her friends, we must do what we can to support that choice. We are fated to join the conflict in any case. Once the Alliance has taken the wall and opened the way to Garabania, we will have little choice but to fight. Which is not to say the cause is unworthy. After all, ignoring the plight of those whom one might conceivably save is not wisdom, but indolence. Correct? I, for one, look forward to joining hands with the Ala Mhigans and striking a blow against the tyranny of the Empire. Yes, I rather suspect do you. Yeah, it's something that the players have been looking forward to for a while. Quick march! The Imperials will soon be come to their senses, and we must be ready to face the retribution. It is almost time, father. Aye, almost. Stand firm, Pippin. I learned to brace myself against the charge of the Bull of Ala Mhigo. No foe will dislodge me. Very well, Ilbert. I will take our homeland back. For the both of us. My Lord Viceroy, our scouts have confirmed the preliminary reports. Belsar's wall has fallen to the Erezian Alliance. The hunt for Omega and the unknown icon continues, though both yet elude us. My lord, their battle caused considerable damage across the region. Should we perchance divert some of our forces from the search to undertake the necessary reconstruction work? Forgive me, my lord, I did not intend. Your will be done. Unknown. My spies tell me the Domans call it Shinryu, and that it proved a match for Omega. Yes, the coming days promise to be most interesting. Most interesting. At the far edge of fate, the road begins anew. The heroes look to eastern skies and behold their crimson hue. A dawn of liberation, a gathering storm of blood. "5 minutes of fate." Alright, we have an achievement, a new title. We are the Fate Walker. Okay, so, to answer your question, did the one-armed guy take the not dead queen to Camp Drybone yet? If they did, it didn't happen on screen and they don't speak of it, you know, royal matters and all that. So, YouTube, thank you very much for viewing. We got to be done here as I got work really close now. I went a little longer than I intended, but it was worth it.